Hello Cancer, Cancer Rising and Cancer Moon people. This is your monthly astrological horoscope for June 2017. And a quick reminder for y'all out there, if you're curious as to why astrologers always say, look at your rising sign, I've got a special video on this channel, on the main channel page. It's a featured video right at the top, and it talks all about why the rising sign is relevant, how to find it, and what that means for your horoscopes. Hi. And when it comes to that, I've got another announcement to make for you on the 10th of June. That's a Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, US and Canada. I'm actually going to be appearing on Nadiya Shah's channel, and we all know who she is. She's a fabulous astrologer. For an interview, we're going to be talking all about astrology, spirituality, tarot, and all kinds of fun stuff. If you want to check that out, mark that on your calendars, and I'll put a link to her channel below. And of course, if you ever want to get a session with me, you do need to follow the links below, or go to my website, integrativemysticism.com. So what is going on with this month? Well, a lot of this month is eventually going to get to one of those spots. It's going to get to one of those spots where all of the planets end up grouping up. You know, and that happens, you know, every 2 or 3 months. We've talked about it before. You know, they group up in one area and put a big focus on one area of our lives. And it starts on the 4th of the month with Mars moving into Cancer, into your 9th house of travel, higher education, government legal proceedings, as well as your spiritual life. Okay, when we talk about your spiritual practice. And for a lot of you Scorpio people out there, you know, this is a time where a lot of those areas are going to get a considerable boost in power, influence, and efficiency. You know, if you are trying to leverage maybe your education, your degree, your certifications, you're trying to find a way to elevate your career by, you know, maybe actually finding a place you feel better qualified for. If you feel overqualified for the position you're in, Mars is going to be working on giving you avenues for that. If you're trying to broadcast, if you're trying to reach out to a bigger audience, or maybe even expand a business or a publication that you have overseas or across national lines, this is also going to help you out with that. This is great for those of you who need to actually appeal or maybe even push for an outcome in your favor in a government or legal proceeding, especially if it is something that needs to be achieved, accomplished, or ratified in order for you to pursue or continue growing in your work. This is also a wonderful time between now and the end of July to get more serious about a spiritual practice that you have underway. You know, this is a time where we start to really get traction. We start to pick up our stride a little bit. You know, we're noticing things actually working for us, you know, finally actually seeing what everyone else is talking about, you know, when it comes to either our spiritual practice, martial arts, and seeing and feeling the real effects of that, because Mars does nothing small. On the 6th of the month, we've got Venus, planet of love, harmony, and romance, forming not forming, but it's moving into your 7th house of committed partnerships. Taurus, your tightest one-on-one relationships. This can be your boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, BFF, business partner, roommate, all the people that you spend your closest one-on-one relationship time with. And when Venus goes into your 7th house, you can expect more closeness with these people during this time, and possibly even the opportunity to start actually getting things made more official between you and one of these folks. If we've been trying to bring peace into a situation where there's been some tension with a lover or with a spouse, maybe it's not necessarily tension with a lover or a spouse, but maybe there's tension with a roommate, maybe there's tension with a business partner, maybe we're trying to attract an ideal person to fit those roles. Venus, from here through the end of the month, the 6th through the end of the month, is going to be making that all the more easy to do, and you may be getting your fair share of options. And again, bringing more of that closeness and that tightness into existing relationships at the same time. We also have Mercury, planet of communications, haste, speed, and efficiency, moving into Gemini, into your 8th house of shared resources, passive income, and self-employment income. And with Mercury, you can expect that a small project you are working on, or if you're trying to start a small business or have your own enterprise that you're running, it's going to be moving a lot more quickly for you. You know, you're going to be seeing results happen faster. We're picking up the pace a lot faster with growth in this area, especially between the 6th and the 21st of the month. You may be finding out there are all kinds of extra opportunities for you as well to maybe even get more contracts. If you work as an independent contractor, you're trying to contract bigger jobs, new opportunities to move in bigger circles, or maybe even at the same time actually start getting business from friends, neighbors, and relatives to boost your income in that way. And again, it's a short angle. It only goes from the 6th up until the 21st. Mercury tends to race through one of his rulers, in this case Gemini. But the nice thing about this is we have this kind of moving in a lot more quickly. This can also be a wonderful time for those of you that are looking to qualify for some kind of loan, venture capital. If you're trying to maybe get something underway for you to qualify for a mortgage, a small business loan, this is also the time you want to get that underway. On the 9th of the month, we've got a full moon in Sagittarius in your earned income sector. And this is going to be the kind of moon that maybe motivates a lot of you Scorpio people to consider quitting your job. Some of you may actually be deciding to move on to bigger and better things. Usually we're moving on to bigger and better things because we've already nailed that down. This could be actually indicative of you finding a better opportunity that says, hey, guess what, I'm going to put in my 2 weeks or my 30 days notice sometime between the 9th and the 23rd of the month. This full moon can also indicate a time where a lot of you Scorpio people may be actually just simply moving on from the station you are at your job. It may not necessarily be a promotion, but it could be a better paid lateral move. And those things do exist as well. There could be an ending going on at the workplace that proves very advantageous. If somebody decides to quit, or, heaven forbid, they get fired themselves, especially if they happen to be of higher stature, and sometimes that is likely during a full moon in our earned income sector. We've also got Jupiter turning direct in your 12th house of your past, your privacy, and your hit zone. And with Jupiter in the 12th house, we tend to see an opportunity to get recognition, credibility, or possibly even a lucky break. It's one of those points that you look at in a person's chart where they may actually get discovered for a talent or an ability that they have, or a project, or perhaps even a passion or a hobby that they have, and actually have an opportunity to showcase that. And we are expanding on that opportunity. If there's something that you've been kind of holding back on, if there's something you thought could only be a pipe dream, after Jupiter goes direct between now and October, you may be steadily working towards making that pipe dream into something more of a reality, or giving it a concrete foundation to be so. Jupiter in the 12th house can also indicate a time for a lot of you who have been waiting perhaps on entitlements that are owed to you, money from a settlement, a lawsuit, possibly even an inheritance or an estate, may actually find that things are starting to get paid out, especially if there's been a delay or a debate on or in these areas. You may be inheriting something in general. You may not even know you qualify for an inheritance, or you may acquire something of minor or major value during this time from either a relative or a friend, or somebody who holds you in high regard, or perhaps it just comes to you, but it is something of great value to you. On the 16th of the month, we've got Neptune turning retrograde in Pisces, in your 5th house of love and romance, and your relationships with your children. And with Neptune retrograde, I always say it's not a bad retrograde. Outer planets, you can't really spin them good or bad. And if you do, you are cheating yourself. Especially when they go retrograde. Because when Neptune goes retrograde, the planet of illusions, delusions, as well as fancy, goes retrograde, we tend to lose the bad and keep the good. Because now we're taking off the rose-colored glasses. We're taking off the tunnel vision goggles as we go into, the rest of the year. Neptune stays retrograde all the way up until November. And this is happening in your love life and your relationships with your children. This is an opportunity to become closer by learning the secrets, the things that people have in their past, things that they haven't shared with you before. An opportunity to get closer to your kids because there's some things they need to share with you. Or maybe there are some things that you've always wanted to tell your kids and you're not necessarily sure how to bring it up, but it will bring the two of you closer nonetheless, or all of you. When it comes to your love life, you may be finding out secret opportunities for love with people who may have secret crushes on you. You may be finding out there's maybe something hidden in the past with your lover that actually explains a lot about their true nature in the best of ways, bringing them closer to you once this is out in the open. Sometimes these things are kept secrets for no reason at all. But there's a very interesting opportunity for confessions all around to bring this relationship closer together between now and November. On the 21st of the month, we do have the Sun and Mercury at the same time moving into your 9th house of travel, higher education, government, legal proceedings, your spiritual life, and all of that stuff. And it does look like the focus is definitely going to be on travel, especially in the last week of this month and even going into July. And a lot of you may actually be finding yourselves in an opportune position to actually take a dream trip or plant the seeds for a trip overseas. This could be great for those of you who are looking to be on the move. Maybe you want to do work with people internationally. Maybe you're trying to work in another country. You're trying to get a visa or a permit to actually do your business or sell your business or all of those kinds of things, working in a foreign land. In fact, a new moon in this area on the 23rd could give you the opportunity to even do that with school. A lot of you who are thinking about going back to school, those of you who are working on your education, may actually find opportunities to even take courses and semesters in other countries, or possibly just simply get into the school or program of your choice, even though it may not feel like it's on the table right now. But a very pleasant surprise that may be out there for a lot of you Scorpio people. So that is your horoscope. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. You know I appreciate it. And of course, if you ever want to get a session, you can always follow the links below, or go to integrativemysticism.com.